by the town, but it was the community that initially did some fundraising. Have we considered, I mean, with a dynamic young man like that leading the charge, and if the issue is money, perhaps trying to get donations to help cover the cost of the basketball court, and having this young man as the front and center face of it. I suspect that you would find, I have one company in mind in particular that might be able to help, and I would love to work with Councillor Robinson and this young man to see if we could get a community support for something like this, because riding your bike to a basketball court or walking is way different than booking Huey Park and getting a drive and being dropped off. It's not spontaneous, and we talk about our kids having the ability to play, and that's what he's talking about, not organized, structured physical activity, but just getting out and playing. So is that something that we could consider for a project like this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Certainly, we would embrace any community partnership opportunity that might be out there in order to fund the basketball court. So certainly we'd be more than willing to work with any group or groups who would want to come forward and work with us to make this happen.
Councillor, is that it? Any other questions of our staff? I have a couple then. The first question is, in terms of this basketball court, it is something that our staff support in terms of proposed use and project?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so it's just a question of funding then?
That's correct.
Okay. And on page 29 to 30 of the original report, going back onto our November 18th budget meeting, there is some commentary about this, and the issue of the only project that could potentially be afforded is the $50,000 for the Nautical Park basketball courts by deferring partial funding from either Mississauga Street right-of-way shoreline or Water's Edge Park. What would be the impact on those two projects if committee and council wish to proceed with the basketball court in advance of the other projects?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I believe those are engineering projects. Mr. Cozy might be able to respond to that question.
Has he run to the door?
The door.
So, Mr. Cozy, there's a question of the Mississauga Street right-of-way shoreline project and the Water's Edge Park project, and what the impact would be if $50,000 was withdrawn from those projects this year to fund this other project.
I'm not running for it.
And there's a subsequent question, which is whether the additional $50,000 could then be found in the following years to complete whichever project the funding was withdrawn from.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That project was one that we were looking to construct next year. That would be to repair the shoreline, the revetment that's at the foot of Mississauga Street. I think it's approximately $50,000 or $75,000. I'm just going off the top of my head on the budget line item. If we didn't do that, we'd defer it to the following year and have to refund it in 2015.
So those two projects, the first one, the Mississauga Street right-of-way shoreline, is a $75,000 project, and the Water's Edge Park is $150,000. So neither one of them are perfectly matched to the $50,000. And I guess it's a question of could you begin those projects? Could you partially complete those projects and then finish them the following year? Is there some opportunity around that?
There was a desire to proceed with the basketball court. I would suggest that we would defer the Mississauga Street project. We would get moving on with the Water's Edge Park. We would then rebudget for Mississauga Street in 2015.
And what impact is there on the general public on a deferral of the Mississauga Street shoreline project?
I don't think there'd be a great impact. It's something that we should be doing. The question that I would ask myself is, can we actually get the permit in time? Those water projects are always subject to a permit, and whether or not we get it on time, because there's only certain times of the year we could work in the lake. So it wouldn't be a huge impact to the public if it was deferred 1 year.
Okay, and maybe I can ask, I'm not sure if this is really a question of yourself, but a question of our finance staff around finding the additional $50,000 in the future year to complete the deferred project of the Mississauga Street shoreline.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we would, when we update the forecast for 2015, we would have to look at it and then look at the available funding and then try to fit that project in.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Then in terms of how this, for those members of the audience who are interested in this particular project, this committee will meet again next Thursday, December 12th at 1 o'clock, and make a recommendation to council. Council will consider those recommendations on December 16th. And you are, of course, welcome to be a delegate at one of those meetings if you so wish. But this committee will consider the information provided and the information from our staff in its deliberations next week. So thanks very much for that. We'll move on to the next delegate, Leanne Haas, who's the representative of the Oakville Cycling Club. Welcome, and you have a